¿Qué pasó, mi gente? Este es su boy, Mr. M2J.
Welcome back for another episode of Latinos Unfiltered Podcast, where we're going to go ahead and kick back. I'm actually, you know what? Let me take a shot of rum here. Got a little bit of I'm going to drink this. So make sure you go ahead, sip on your cafecito, your rum, whatever it is you're going to drink.
El agüita.
Whew, and dive into the heart of all the conversations and everything we're talking about.
Oh, boy. From the rhythm of our favorite Latino beats, the real talk about what's shaking our community, like this just shook about that shot. We're here to keep it sin filtros, mi gente. No holding back.
So whether you're chilling at home, stuck in traffic, whether you're shopping or whatever it is, put your headphones in, listen to our awesome conversations, watch it, put it on YouTube, whatever it is that you're going to watch on your Android, your iPhone. Ugh. But, join our familia, let's laugh, learn, and maybe even spill a little cheese along the way, because life is definitely too short to not have a good time. So let's go ahead and have one.
Yes, sir. So make sure that you grab those headphones, turn the volume up, and let's get unfiltered. So bienvenidos to your Latinos Unfiltered, bro. Let's go. Episode number 5. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
Cinco. I like cinco. We're going to do Am I Wrong? I found this on Reddit. This is going to be our little Reddit transitions here. The name of this is Tinder date was being a bitch, so I ditched her and made her pay for her own dinner.
Oh, wow.
Is he wrong? So last night I had a date with a woman. Let's call her Amy. Me and Amy have been chatting for about a week or before our meetup. I made a dinner reservation in advance, so I got ready and I drove over to pick her up. When I got there, it took nearly 2 hours to meet up. I called her a few times, but she said I was rushing her process. That should have made me turn around, but I waited. That was my mistake, to be honest. By the time Amy finally came downstairs, we missed the dinner reservation. Ooh, that's a red flag right there. I was annoyed because the reservation cost a fee, so I decided we would just go to Applebee's. Applebee's is good.
Hey, exactly.
She asked me, oh, hell no. See, this is what women have it wrong here, but okay. We'll do this conversation after. But
we'll dive into
she asked me, she asked me if I was seriously taking her to Applebee's. I said, seeing as she made us late for the reservation, this was what I was willing to do. Amy implied this was below her standard of courting, but we eventually went inside. While we were in the Applebee's, I tried making conversation with her. The whole time she couldn't hide the fact that she was too good for this and was being snobby, rolling her eyes, looking away the whole show. Long story short, the food came, I ate my food, lied and said I had to use the restroom, said fuck this, and left. Well, ever since she's been blowing up my phone all night and morning, she called me a POS for leaving her stranded to fend for herself and have to pay for her food and Uber home. Apparently, Amy didn't have the money to cover for her own food. She said I'm an asshole/loser for taking her to Applebee's in the first place instead of a higher-end restaurant. Am I wrong or the asshole?
Well, first of all, before I address that answer specifically, the fact that she could not even afford a low-end restaurant, I think it speaks most of her than it does of the guy. Because if you couldn't even afford that low-end restaurant, why would you want to be taken to a high-end one? Because if you would have been stuck on a high-end restaurant, yeah, the whole story would have been a lot different. So check yourself, girl. Check yourself. No, he's not the asshole. She's just a pretentious little bitch, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, if you're going to be, if I'm taking you somewhere and I'm like, okay, we have a reservation, it's going to cost me money, I tell you this, and you decide, oh, well, you're going to destroy my process, you should tell me, hey, it's going to take me this long to do it. And man, we all know. We all know women are, we know women take forever to get ready. Nah. So it's one of those where, like, I personally feel like, and you shouldn't have to go through this, but I feel like men should be like, you know what? I'm going to tell you it's for 6 o'clock, but the reservation is for 7. Because I have never personally seen a woman be on time. So I don't see that happening. I don't see where it's going to happen like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, so it's like, I'm like, I don't believe it. But that's the deal. That's what we're dealing with. I personally think, she's the asshole. I don't think he's the asshole for doing it. He up and left. He was trying to give her a good time, show her something good, have a good time with her. She decided to make it late. He had to pay for that reservation, which he missed because of her. and because of that, now they're stuck with not being able to do it. And
Exactly.
it's
Like you just
what?
want him to pull a rabbit out his ass, and they just
Yeah,
pull out another reservation location where you decided to be late for. I'm gonna tell you this in all honesty, if I was me on that situation and you are 15 minutes late, I am going to go in. I'm gonna go into my reservation for myself. I'm gonna order. I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna leave. You're gonna be
yeah,
stuck outside that restaurant, and because I'm not gonna lose my reservation for a snobby ass girl. I'm not.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
First of all, you not the price. I am the price because you're trying to get with a high end man, quote unquote. You're trying to get with the man. The man is not trying to get with you. I mean, the man is courting you, but he's the ultimate prize because you want somebody to provide, protect you, and give you, or, and just share with from his resources. You see what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
if you want to get and take advantage of all the things that he got, I think at the end of the day, as a man, we are the prize. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
females can say whatever they want, but we as men, we are the prize. You coming for what we can offer you. You know what I'm saying? You go to a job and your job is a prize, and why'd you go into a job? Because of what they offer you. So that's your
yep,
reward. That's your goal to get that job you want. So you females want the guy you guys want. We just want a woman that give us peace of mind, that makes a house a home, uh, uh, that makes the house a sanctuary. So when we're done dealing with this crazy world outside, we can come and relax instead of getting hell. Because
yep,
that is the story that I hear all the time. Every time is just like, oh, this girl is just driving me crazy. And, my house is not a home, and like, why would I even date because of women like that? This, that, and third. Bro, it's crazy. Why? You trying to get with a man because of what a man can provide for you, yet we are the dogs, we are the bums, we are the, you name it, bro. Anything that is belittling is just us. It's man. You're not good enough. You're not this. You're not that. You're not the
yeah,
other. You're always the low end of the stick. And then what is crazy is that they look for that 1% type of man, or 0.1%
hmm,
of man that makes 8 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, and then you think that they're going to look for a woman like you. If you don't check yourself, you're going to wreck yourself.
facts, facts, bro. And that's why it's like there's got to be standards on how we do things, how things happen, just in general. You if you want something good, you have to be something good. You can't expect someone to give you the best things possible, and then you act a fool.
No, you
It doesn't
cannot.
work
You
like that.
cannot.
No.
It's just mad crazy, and that's something that really like burned my loins, bro. Like it's just crazy. The
It
fact
burns
of
my
it
loins.
burns my loins, bro. It's just crazy the level of insanity and delusion that goes into nowadays women, that they always talk about, oh, I'm a bad bitch, or I'm a boss bitch, but they want to call us a dog. But I'm gonna tell you this: what is a bitch? Isn't the bitch the counterpart of a male dog? So you call yourself a dog in all reality, all by yourselves. Y'all call each
Yep.
other dogs. So I don't know. You tell me who's the real dog. You give us that title, but we never call one another dogs. You call each other dogs. So I don't know. Y'all tell me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's totally her fault. I think he did the right thing, honestly. I don't
Yeah,
think what he did was wrong. Why is he going to pay for someone who was ungrateful, who
he
wanted to
dodged a
act a
bullet.
fool? Yeah, he dodged that. That's a red flag if there ever was one. It's that shouldn't be happening. It's something it's ridiculous, honestly. Um, yeah, that's stupid. I'm
And
sorry.
then what makes it worse after what you read, bro, is that she tried to play the victim. Like, you have the audacity to call
Yep.
yourself a victim when you was late, you was disrespectful, you was entitled, and just completely like beyond like what is wrong with you? And then you want to sit down there, you want to take the time to waste his time and then call him a bum. You want to call him this, that, and the third, that he's not able to provide for you that luxury style that you want to.
Yep.
But then you could have done for Applebee's. You could have fend for yourself for Applebee's, where you can get two for 20. So you not even had a $20 bill in your pocket.
Facts.
That
And
is
the crazy
crazy.
part is like,
You can't even
well, the
afford
crazy
$20.
thing, bro, the crazy thing is like, how do you go somewhere and not have any money and think, oh, this is all right? You know, like if you're going to go somewhere, especially if you don't know the person like that, you know, make sure you have the money that you're going to need.
Exactly.
So
It's
that,
some money to cover your bill. I mean, especially if you're trying to go to a high end. I mean, imagine if that would have happened in the high end, location where he tried to have the reservations for. She would have been stuck like Chuck.
yeah, that's where when you know you're going on a date, but be smart about how you're doing what you're doing because it's just there's only so much a person can do. What if you didn't like the date or whatever?
Exactly.
Um, you know, you got to
I
make
bet you if
sure.
she
You know,
would have walked out of that day because he was being a jerk, then guess what? Then he's stuck with the bill now. And he cannot call her back like, oh my God, you was being a bum bitch because you walked away from the dinner and you didn't pay your stuff. Oh no,
yep,
now that's a problem. We're in 2024, equal rights, equal fights. Get it right.
facts.
You get stuck with the bill too. So don't come with that. Act right. Get better, be better, do better.
Yeah, I agree. It's insane. It's just not smart. So okay, so that's yeah. We're let me see here. Give me a second, y'all. I gotta doing a few things here. I got a little thing I switched up here. Make sure we're good. Okay, so yeah, I agree with that. He did right, bro. You did a good job. It's a red flag right there, all because she wanted to act a fool. You don't deserve to have something happen to you like that because she wants to be pretentious. That's what it is. It's being pretentious.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and do this segment was technically it wasn't am I wrong, but we're gonna go ahead and do a an am I the asshole thing. So we're gonna read another one and see what we get. We're gonna do a random one. So let's see. Oh, this is a good one. I'm curious. So, am I the asshole for refusing to cook for my boyfriend? We, 21 female, 22 male, split all the chores around the house, and I'm the one doing the cooking. My boyfriend is very picky when it comes to his eating. He will only eat certain foods in certain textures and prepares in a certain way. But that's not the issue, as he will usually want something very simple and basic. In parentheses, mashed potatoes, nuggets, plain butter, pasta, etc. What is he, a child?
And I was just gonna say that.
Right? Like, bro, like that. Oh god,
Chicken
people like
nuggets.
that.
Give me some chicken nuggets.
The chef that pisses me off. So I cook whatever I want for myself and one of his breakfast dinner choices for him. The issue is that he wouldn't even give to try and always refuse when I offered him to take a bit of the actual food I cooked. I was annoyed by that because how come he knows it's bad before ever trying? And taking a bite shouldn't be so hard. Yet it would me feel a lot better. So I think she's saying it would make her feel a lot
She's
better.
dealing with a man child. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of compromising relationships. So I finally came up with the idea that he was going to take a bite and he's free not to continue to eat if he didn't like, but he should at least give it a try before turning down the offer. He refused at first, but eventually accepted. Since we've been taking a little bite like we agreed to, but almost always immediately spitting it out, which made me felt so disrespected. I talked with him on that too, and now finally he swallows but still never eats. I thought it's okay. At least he does his best he can, and I have patience and will keep offering him different foods. 2 days ago, he lashed out at me horribly, saying he won't take a bite anymore because I've been him to do so whole time. This person can't spell. And make him feel disgusting. He does the whole time, makes him feel disgusting. He doesn't get to enjoy his food after. And why do I try to change him, etc.? I was shocked at his reaction. He wouldn't even listen to me and kept repeating the same stuff over and over. I just left the room as there was no point in arguing at the time. Yesterday morning, he came to me and apologized for raising his voice and not listening to me. Ashamedly admitted he was having a sort of meltdown. I tried to be understanding, and nod my head, but I really couldn't wrap around giving that sort of reaction for having to take a bite. I said it's fine. I'm not mad at him. However, I won't cook for him anymore because he clearly doesn't appreciate it, nor does he want to even try it. He asked if I can't just make him whatever he wants. I said no because I don't want to contribute his unhealthy eating, and we can't even it out by splitting other chores. He agreed, but called me an asshole and said he felt like I'm doing this only to punish him for something he can't change. When I could just respect his boundaries is not true because I'm understanding of his issues, made lots of compromises for him. To be fair on him, he also made some other issues. But him throwing a tantrum over something like that really made me feel horrible, and I'm just overall quit cooking for him. Am I the asshole for that?
No, she's not. He's a man child. The fact of the matter is that he sits there and he said that he cannot change your eating habits. So you stuck with your 5 year old eating habits and you never develop a palate for different foods. You got a
Yeah,
problem, buddy. You got a serious problem. Go get off your
not
mama's. He got to get off his mom's tit. You know what I'm saying? He needs to get off that stuff. Start sucking on that mama's milk because
yeah.
it's crazy. Like growing up, I didn't like spinach. Now I love it. I didn't like broccoli. Now I love it. Like I'll eat stuff that I really didn't eat back then. Brussels sprouts, stuff like that. The only thing I really don't eat my whole life is because I got kind of traumatized about it. It was okra because the way that my mom cooked okra that night, my you know that if you watch this, you gotta comment that because there's no
I'm not a
saving
fan
grace
of
for that.
okra either, though. Okra is a
Yo,
very acquired taste. It's
Yo,
slimy. It's
I'm
slimy.
telling you, she cooked that okra. Yes, bro. Yes. And she served that okra and it was all slimy, bro. And the moment I felt that slimy stuff going down my throat, I felt
Uh,
disgusting.
he said it went down my gullet, and I did not enjoy it.
Hey, I guess that's when I realized that I was not for that. I was not for the homosexual life. I was not for that life. I'm like, nope, there's no slimy shit going down my throat. Hell no.
Yo, oh my god! I feel like
But
okra is it's weird though. Fried okra, when it's done properly, it's not slimy at all, and it's actually good. But very far and few between have I found a good fried okra.
I have not even tried. People told me that I would not even venture to do that just because of the mental
I'm
trauma
gonna take you somewhere, and we're gonna both
that I went to
fried
that.
okra and see how we like it. We're gonna try some fried okra and see if it's
Oh, I
better
don't
than.
know, man.
We gotta try it, man. We gotta try it.
We're gonna hold our whole episode of me trying to take one little freaking bite out of that stuff. I will eat anything else, bro. Like other than my, that my shellfish allergies, bro, because I would literally die. But okra is the one that I would literally like refuse to like. Do not put that near me in any way, shape, or form. I don't give a damn about it.
I think I think for him, I don't. Yeah, I think he's. I think it's semi because we don't know further than what she wrote. I feel like he could be an asshole for only wanting very simple, basic stuff. But if he could, I remember seeing this on TV somewhere. This one person or on TikTok or I don't know somewhere, but someone, this guy, he'd only eat certain things, and but he was one of those where he understood his girlfriend wanted him to try stuff, and he's like, you know what, I'll try something, and they recorded him trying stuff new every day. But his reason is because he has some type of like medical issue where it's hard for him to eat certain stuff, and I think he might have had a mental issue of some sort. But
Yeah,
I
but
know
you
he
see,
tried stuff anyway, and he gave it a
if you
shot.
have a if you had an issue, it's different. If you like me, if you try to make me that, if you try to feed me okra, we're gonna have a hell of a time. We're gonna go
Yes,
and we're gonna explore parts of my brain that haven't been exploring in a long time. But the fact of the
yeah.
matter is that he's there eating chicken nuggets and french fries or pop tarts and hot pockets. It's like, my guy, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's fine and dandy, like once in a blue moon. But like, I don't want to eat that because yucky, no. And then, like, she's doing like, I think she's really trying or doing her best because she's making you different things, bro. Like she's literally throwing down in the kitchen. That's what it seems like for what she's typing. Like she's throwing up, like she's throwing down in the kitchen, doing all these different type of meals, try to figure it out, like something that he might like, and this and the other thing. Bro, she's not your mom.
Someone wrote, I don't know, I didn't read further up, but someone said, I think someone said that she said, or someone said, or someone thinks, I don't know, that he has Asperger's syndrome. So he has sensory issues around food and are known, and these are known things in the relationship, which makes it worse. That OP keeps trying to force her when she knows he struggles. He's not regressing to a 3-year-old temper tantrum. He's literally struggling with sensory issues around food. So if he has Asperger's and he has, because they found out there is people like that have
Yeah, but
sensory issues.
she didn't.
With
I
certain,
think they've been dating for a while. If she would have known that, it would have been a different stuff.
yeah,
If she would have included that, I mean, like I said, that was a comment. That was not a factual thing. Like if that person that made the comment actually knew that he had that condition, then by all means, then she's an asshole. But just keeping it within the context of what you read, He looks like he just want to be a little kid, like just give me burgers and nuggets and fries and chicken tenders and stuff like that. And to me, that's just like, yo, you need to develop your palate as a person. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Try different things. You know, you're not gonna like everything out there, but the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of options and there's a lot of
It
choices in
could,
the world.
now
So
this is not being like racial, but I do know a lot of white people who like they won't try new things because they're so used to like basic stuff that trying new things is kind of different for them. It could be that, but I do know yeah, if it's just him being a guy, I mean, there's so many things we don't know about it. Personally, I don't think he's being an asshole, but then again, I don't think he's being right because if you have an issue and you want certain things cooked, if you're both working in the household and she just gets home earlier, it shouldn't be expected upon her to cook. I feel like if you're a grown adult, you're both working equally, you're both, doing stuff,
yeah, because
then
she
if you don't
stated
like
it. She
something, you
stated
can
it.
cook it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, she stated that they share the burden of the plays. You know what I'm saying? Like they split
Yeah.
the
So
chores
at that
and
point,
stuff like that. So if she's the one that's stuck with cooking, at least you should be a little bit more appreciative. So I don't know that he has some type of. I mean, it could be, but like I've said, I'm sticking to the script. I'm sticking to what you read, the context of what you read, and based on that alone, without just trying to throw all these hypotheticals in there, yeah, I mean he's the one that falls under being an asshole because she's doing the best she
yeah.
can to try to put different things out there. Because I mean, as a person,
But
I
it
think
is it is a lot to ask someone to only to like if I'm coming home and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna cook something simple and easy to go out of the way after I just cooked a big ass meal. As a chef, it's like I hate like, oh, I'm cooking a big ass meal and then someone's like, oh, I don't want this, I only want this, and it is an ungrateful thing. Like, okay, I just
exactly.
slaved away after working myself to make this big meal, and now you're gonna bitch about the meal. So I feel like it's not really an assholish thing. I think he needs to understand. Okay, if I'm cooking this, that's it. Because what if she's like,
What
okay,
would you
I'll
call
only
it?
cook what you like? Then
If it's
she's
not
gonna
an
be eating
asshole, then what you call
she's
it?
not gonna want to eat that. You know what I'm saying? What'd you say?
If it's not an asshole, what would you call it? Because you know that she's
Ungrateful.
already like you know that she's already in the kitchen doing something that is different. If that was the case, then
Yeah. But
you
like,
should
what
have
happens?
stopped her. You should have stopped her in the way like, hey, listen, I see you cooking all that stuff. I like really don't want to eat that. Can we do this for today or something
But
like that?
even
But
then, he
you
only
have
likes to eat that stuff. So what happens if that's all he wants to eat? She's not gonna want to just sit there and eat plain stuff and just be like, oh yeah, like I can understand that because I don't want to eat the same thing all the time, especially if it's something that's like that. Like she has to understand she also wants us. So now she's forced to cook two meals, and or if she doesn't, she's like, fine, I'll just do whatever he wants. Then it's always the same shit, the same crappy meals, and it's gonna get annoying because like I want to eat something
exactly.
different, and I don't want to have to cook twice. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's an asshole. I think they just need to. He needs to either cook for himself or she needs to realize, like, hey, you know what? I get, he likes chicken fingers. Get an air fryer, put it in, and if he doesn't like the way you cooked it, that's on him.
I
I
mean,
don't. I honestly, I don't
it's
think
just
he's an
like the
asshole.
person that you take to the restaurant and always have the chicken tenders with the fries, even though you go through 1,000 different restaurants and you just have keep having the same damn thing. It's like
Yeah,
try something new. Is I
like
mean, to
I'm
me,
sorry.
I don't
I'm
know.
not. If I have kids,
I think it's just me, but I think that I don't know. To me, that just feels like beyond disrespectful. Like try something different. Try something new.
yeah.
The world is
If
just
it's
full of
kids, it's
color for you.
different, you know what
You
I'm
keep
saying? But it's not
painting
kids.
the
He's a
same
grown
damn
man.
color.
Yeah,
Makes it even worse. I mean, in my point of view, it makes it a lot worse that you, as a grown adult, you still stuck with what nowadays we consider a child's meal.
facts. And that's why I don't think she's an asshole because she wants to experience more. Because what if they go to a restaurant, it's an expensive restaurant, and they don't have that? Well, I already want to try
Exactly.
this.
That's
Then
crazy.
it's like, oh, so now we have to leave the restaurant, or you're going to be miserable. So it's not fair to her. So I don't think she's an asshole. I think they just need to come with some type of thing where they decide it and go ahead of time. But like, if he's going to limit where how much she's willing to do and whatnot, I don't think she's an asshole. I think
That's
they're
what I said.
both. I
She's
don't.
not an
He's
asshole.
more wrong
She's
than
not.
her, in my opinion. In my
Yeah.
opinion, he's more wrong. She's not because like I'm not sitting here trying to not experience life because you want to eat nuggets and potatoes. Like I'm sorry, not happening.
Yeah. I agree 100%. She's not really the asshole. I mean, he's being a lot very
Yeah,
inconsiderate.
but yeah. So How's the weather down there? You're in Florida, everyone. I'm in Seattle. He's in Florida. How's everything with the weather so far?
Bipolar,
Bible.
bipolar as it can be.
Gotta
It
love
was it was
life.
52 degrees at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was 72 by noon. Then around 3 o'clock, it was a good 80 something degrees, and currently is back to like 60. So it's about to go down back to the 50s, like around like 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. It's
Yeah.
just this up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, that's why you guys see me around here sniffling and grabbing my little tissue, is
Yeah.
because this weather has my immune system jumping and going like all out, like, let's go before this man gets sick. Because it's just like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot,
Yeah.
cold. And that's crazy.
So speaking, do some Latino stuff. Some Latinos, as this is Latinos Unfiltered.
Échale
Question:
sazón, sazón.
Échale, échale sazón, batería, reggaeton. Okay, so what are some challenges faced that you think as a Latino in the workplace, and how can these challenges be addressed?
As of like what?
Now,
Like child.
in general, what are challenges that if
Mm,
you feel as so? For example, I'll go first. So, as an example, so I any job I've applied for, the minute they find out I speak Spanish, they ask, "Oh, you speak Spanish?" If they need Spanish people, they ask, "Oh, you speak? Oh, that's great. We need people who can do Spanish stuff. I can speak it, write it, read it, talk, whatever. Not a problem." But a lot of places, I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." And it's like, "Oh yeah, it'll pay for example, uh, $17 an hour. Let's just go for example." And they're like, "Oh, that's perfect. We need people who are going to do it in Spanish." I'm like, okay, the first thing I say is there a pay bump? First thing. Well, no, it's
mhm.
gonna be the same pay. We're not gonna pay extra for it. It's like, so you want me to do the job of two people for
Bye.
one pay? I
Nope.
know two different languages, and I got to deal with more work. So you want me to take English and Spanish speaking callers? And yeah, it's natural for me to speak it, but it's one of those things where I'm not going to do double the work, and then I have to translate it to you because a lot of places, like when I used to work on my one job, they wanted me to take Spanish calls. They would always transfer it to me, but they didn't want to give me the pay raise for it. And they're like, "Oh, well, we need you to take this, blah blah." It's like I'm not going to get paid more money for speaking on all. What if I knew six languages? You want me to take all the six languages? Like, you're not going
Exactly.
to pay me
That's
extra. I'm
crazy.
doing more work, and then if you don't understand it, I got to translate it and not
Yeah,
traducir,
translated. Yeah,
or
translate.
translate, but like dictate it to
Transcript.
like the
Oh yeah,
manager,
yeah,
or
dictated.
dictate
Okay.
it to you, and be like, oh, this is what they were talking about, and it's like, oh, well, tell them this. It's like, no, I'm not. Now you're putting more stress on me and more work.
That's
It's like,
a
oh,
whole nother job.
it's
That's
a
a
natural
whole
language.
nother
Why is it
job.
more
Yeah.
work? If you know two languages, how is it more work? It's maybe because I'm not getting paid for it. You want me to speak Spanish and you want to get the money for Spanish speaking customers, then I want more pay. Because guess what? If no one spoke Spanish, you couldn't get the Spanish people at all. No one spoke Spanish. Guess what? You're not getting that money, right? Therefore, if
They got to
there's a
spend that
person
money to
back
buy. They
home,
gotta spend the money to buy it to pay for a translator and all this other stuff.
exactly,
So if you want
exactly,
me to do the job, yeah, I agree 100% with you with that. But you know something, I'm gonna take it a little bit deeper than that. It's crazy, especially down here in the area of Miami, Florida, where you have Hispanics, esto hispanos, where they expect you to speak Spanish to them, and God forbid you do only talk to them in English. Yo te puedo hablar en español y en inglés perfectamente. I can talk to you in Spanish and English perfectly. I even went ahead and I certified myself. I am a certified bilingual. I went and took all the classes to make sure that it's on paper. You see what I'm saying? Like I have a paper that says that I'm a certified bilingual. I can read, write, and speak Spanish. So, besides the fact that I was born in a Hispanic country, and my guy, that's my first language. English is second language. Um, but I'm a full bilingual. And you're not gonna sit here and just like undermine my knowledge for your profit, and you are not
yep,
going to compensate me for that. You are out of your ever loving mind. I am not going to
yeah,
sit here and then, like, in my case, I work with school buses, and they have your dispatchers. Now most of the dispatchers, not most, but pretty much all of the dispatchers are, English speaking. But we have a lot of Hispanics in there that have really broken English. And I always hear this over the radio. Can somebody translate what they said to me? Um, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it because,
Yep.
um, first of all, it's not to sound like an asshole or like a dick, but I have to learn English myself.
Yep.
I have to sit down and
Yep.
learn English myself. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. You might have
Fact.
a more pronounced accent on your English speaking, but what I'm getting at is the understanding and communicating to the same speaking people. Now, given America is an English speaking country, even though it's not the native countries, the native language of the
Yeah.
country because of the Native Americans. So, we don't speak Navajo or Blackfoot or whatever not, but the language that it was basically has been adopted for the whole country is English. So, with that said, your due diligence as a person so you can communicate with the majority of the country is to learn the given language. It's like me trying to go to France and not trying to learn a lick of French. That is
Well, that's the thing. Like,
disrespectful. That to me, that's disrespectful to the whole entire country, because I
yeah,
want to go with an entitled self that if you don't speak my language, then the problem is with you, not with me. You have to take responsibility and a little bit of accountability to understand that if I'm going to travel somewhere else, that my native language is not a practice by any means.
bro.
You need to learn. Like, what if you go to Germany? What if you go? I mean, and given that a lot of European countries they do speak English. You know what I mean? If you go to Switzerland, I mean, they do speak English, even though they have the Swedish and all this sort of stuff. And it's different in other countries that they also practice English or whatever not. So there's somewhat some level of flexibility at some point. Um,
Yeah, but in the U.S., a lot of people the English I think used to be. I could be wrong, but I feel like every state has Spanish. Like it's no longer. I honestly, I'm at the point where I honestly feel, and we can research it later, that I feel like Spanish is probably the most spoken in the U.S. I would even dare to say because there's so many. I mean, there's what 20 Spanish speaking countries, bro. Spanish speaking, like, and people come here to try to get that dream. Like, bro, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I remember when I used to work in the travel industry, this lady got mad, and I even saw a tweet about this too. But I've heard plenty of stories exactly like this, people complaining to us, where she went to one was in Spain and the other one was República Dominicana. And tell
okay.
me why this English lady was like, oh, she's like, oh, I had the worst time. The Spain one was like, I had the worst time in Spain. I can't believe it. Everywhere I went, they were speaking Spanish. Like, why can't they learn English? Like, that's the language, isn't it? I'm like I speak, like I, and the girl, she was dumb enough to say, I speak American. Why can't she speak
Oh
English as well?
no, I was
Like,
about to
I'm
say
like,
that. I'm like, please don't tell me she said I speak American.
bro, why are you in a different country expecting them to speak like what everyone speaks English, or why can't they learn it here? This is this is the like I'm like like if you want tourists there, you need to learn English. It's like, are you serious? Why
The
don't you
sense of
learn
entitlement
Spanish,
is disgusting, bro.
bro?
The sense of
And the
entitlement
worst
is
part,
crazy.
bro, the worst part is that all these crazy stories are usually, and it's from different people, but the ones that I've seen the most were always white Americans who were like, oh, I went to República Dominicana and I went there and they were speaking Spanish only. I went to all these tourist spots and they were either speaking only Spanish and they try to figure it out, or they spoke very broken English. Why can't they learn it? I'm like, you're going to someone else's country with this entitlement, and you where the primary language is a different language, and you're gonna bitch about it. Why don't you learn some of the things from that? It's if we can learn two languages, three languages, four. But this is where the American school system is stupid as can be. Because, bro, how are
It's
you going
not
to go
even the
somewhere else
school
and be
system.
entitled
It's
all
just it's just I don't know. It's just the mentality that they have is just a sense of entitlement that is just beyond ridiculous. Because the fact that, and this is why I hear sometimes the whole thing, like this is why the rest of the world hate America, because the sense of entitlement is beyond ridiculous. The fact that, and it's not everybody, but the fact that a lot, you know, of people go out to other countries, and per se like countries that are not predominant with English, and you seriously want to look people dead in the face and you expect them to automatically understand that you are American, you speak English, and then you want to be like, yeah, you're gonna. American is not a language. You speak English. It comes from England. You know, all those English speaking countries, and then you want to tell people
No,
from England
you're wrong.
that they
You're
need
wrong.
to
You're
speak.
wrong there. You're wrong. I was told by a white person American is a language because English is what the people in England speak. We speak a different language, therefore we do speak American.
I am not gonna entertain your tomfoolery, sir. I am not gonna entertain your
Yo,
tomfoolery. I am not. I
oh
refuse to.
my, I see where they're going with it, but it's stupid as hell, and it makes no sense because it's still English.
I
It's like the
speak
whole. I think we are
American.
talking about it somewhere. Aluminum. We pronounce it. Now, aluminum
Oh
is a
my god,
correct
yeah.
pronunciation, but
No, but
the
hey,
rest of the
hey, hey,
world
hey, go out there right now.
aluminium.
Grab a mic, go down your street and ask them. Do you say aluminium or you say aluminum? And I know that 100 out of 100, they're gonna tell you aluminum. It's not
Aluminum.
aluminum, it's aluminium. Because if you speak Spanish, it's aluminio, no alumino. It's no
Yep.
alumino, aluminio. So if you want to translate it to the literal word, it's aluminium.
Yep. And now, yeah, now obviously languages evolve and new things happen because we don't have an accent. The people who came to the U.S. what people don't understand, especially these hardcore Americans, like you're like, oh, we don't want Mexicans or these people in our country, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this wasn't your country. You stole it. You literally, your ancestors came from some type of white place, for example, England or something like that, some type of place in the UK, and you didn't want to be oppressed. So you came to America, you raped, pillaged, did all this stuff. You did stuff, you R worded and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R word is
Yeah.
so
You did
funny.
all this stuff and like, here you go. You pillaged and plundered and did all this stuff, and then you say, "Oh, you're gonna learn our religion, our culture, our thing. You don't like it too bad," and that's where it's been like,
Exactly.
bro,
Yeah.
this is not your original language, and you're gonna tell people about it now. Yes, things
And it
evolve, but
happened.
still,
Yeah, and it happened throughout the whole continent of the Americas, South America, Central America, North America. It happened. In Canada, they speak English and they speak French. So because I was, from the French influence, then you have America, which got it from the British, and then you have most of Hispanic America, which they was taken by Spaniards, and they imposed their, the Catholic religion and the Spanish and all this sort of stuff. Because let's be honest, if they were never done that, we will still be speaking dialects, from all these
facts.
different tribes and settlements that were across the whole,
Now we're
the
not
whole
condoning
continent.
it, as you guys see. I don't condone it. I'm all about making sure, as a Puerto Rican, I don't like what the U.S. does to us, but a lot of countries like Hawaii, even Hawaii's a state, and you'd be surprised. Hawaiian, same thing as Puerto Rico. They got their land taken over, got forced. They had no say so. There's still people fighting to not be a state because they don't, bro. They're not allowed to do and have their culture and do what they want. So that's why there's schools that literally teach you, that are literally just to learn your culture. In Hawaii, there's an actual school where you go. There's a class that they have, and you learn your original dialect. Because if not, you're gonna lose everything that you had, and it's all because, oh,
Yeah,
well,
but they don't. I don't.
American, you gotta
Do
learn
they
this.
do they teach that in Puerto Rico, like how to speak Taino?
There are some schools that teach it. There's I've heard very little. There are places that learn it, and there, especially now with Puerto Ricans trying to be more independent and keep our culture, because now Americans are going there and buy. For example, the actually, I hate this guy with a strong Logan Paul and Jake Paul, man.
He strongly dislike. We're not trying to spread hate.
Yeah, I like. like leave Puerto Rico, bro. You ain't wanted there. You're not. It's. I don't care. Like they go there, people. That's a whole nother topic. But like displacement of our people and stuff, and then you want to say, well, this is America, and we barely have schools there because America says no. You're a
Go
money
back,
bank,
you
and that's what it.
colonizers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what the flag is for, the black and white flag. But anyway, that'll be a different topic, different day.
But you
But
know
yeah, it's
something,
just
you touch on a good subject because I think if a lot of Hispanic countries would actually do that, it would be really dope. Because I know in Panama, like we have different tribes on the different provinces, but I don't think it's something that like is part of the education system. Like learn the
yeah.
native language that was taken by the Spaniards into when we were colonized by them, and they introduced Spanish to their way of life that they had over there or whatever. Now, I mean, everybody. I mean, even the natives over there, they speak Spanish, but they keep their culture. You know what I'm saying? Like they kept their
Mhm.
language and they pass it down to the newer
Well, that's
generation.
because they weren't. That's because they weren't colonized. They didn't go and do
I
all this
mean,
stuff.
they remember they were colonized by Colombia, and they were colonized. Well, Colombia Spaniards, same thing. They were colonized by Spain, but they
Say that to
you know
the
they have their
Colombians. Say that to the Colombians.
yeah. They were part of the Gran Colombia. So then after that they separated from Colombia. They were also colonized by Spain. But
Yep.
they independent they gained independence from them, and they fought, and I'll probably bring that maybe around November, because it's like when we celebrate all the independence from all these different countries and stuff like that. That's usually around November. So I'm probably going to prepare that later on during the year.
I
So
know
so
France had a war. The Spain's war with the French, where they were conquered in 18 something, and I know that was one of the bloodiest what do you call it periodo, period in Spanish history, where they were they were there, but it was yeah uh, Spain, they just screwed everyone they could. But yeah, no, I think
España.
yeah, I think, but yeah, going back to the workplace, I think workplace was a thing where it needs to be changed a lot. Spanish people, we don't get paid enough for what we do, and they expect more than what we do. We're hard workers, but it's hard to do stuff when you're being forced to do stuff that you don't want to do. You know?
And I think it's only with Spanish, to be honest with you, because I don't really see that with other cultures, like other languages. Like, oh, if you speak Japanese, or if you speak Chinese, or if you speak, uh, uh, um, German, or if you speak any other language, like if they actually need a translator, or there's an employee that can become a translator for their company because they have a client or whatever, they will pay you extra. But I don't know why they do that only with Spanish, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't. And I think they think maybe
I
it's
mean, I
because they
might be
think
wrong, but I personally haven't seen that
I've
yet.
never seen it. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I feel like because they think there's so many Spanish speaking people in the U.S., like why should we pay different if I'll find someone else? And
Yeah,
it's stupid. It's dumb.
yeah,
Ugh.
it's crazy. Well, moving on up, moving on up. Let's see. Try to think about. Let's see here. One, two. No, 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 no.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why you find that one? I have a question. So this is something I definitely want to bring up to our Latino people. This is going to be a hefty topic, but this. Well, wait, did you find yours? Did you find? Because this one is definitely. We can definitely do a whole
No,
episode on
yeah,
that.
go ahead. I'm still
All
looking.
right, so we'll do yours on maybe even the next episode. But how has the stigma of mental health and therapy affected the Latino community, and what could be done to promote mental health awareness?
That is a tricky one, because honestly,
Yeah,
growing up, there was no r- recollection. I mean, they it was, but it was not as developed as it is now. And I think right now is probably even overdeveloped, because they taken this to a whole different level.
yeah,
To the point that now all these mental illnesses are being celebrated and normalized, and that's why we have all this crazy gender identity and on all this like self perception and all this other extra stuff that back then was a mental illness that now is like, oh no, that's just normal, you know. Um, but back then, if you had a mental problem, either you were stupid or you were stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, you know, then you would slap you across the head and they'd be like, yo, uh, uh, you know, sit down and study your stuff. But I can't focus. Stop being stupid. Focus. You know what I'm saying? He was just, it was just as plain as that. And, you know, it was not like, you know, so
Well, it's also, I feel like it's
I,
also
I,
kind
I,
of
I would go as far, yeah, I would go as far as saying like it needs to be addressed because there are actually some concerns that needs to be addressed because there are issues, you know, that there are mental issues that needs to be addressed. But I don't know, part of the Hispanic culture is just
suck it up.
yeah, you just kind of like, you know, suck it
It
up,
is.
be a man or
Yeah.
you know, what I'm saying
There is
like
no such thing as feelings. And men already have it difficult as it is, but in Latino culture, there's no such thing as therapy. Like I saw on Pero Like, I think it was the channel, where they were talking about mental health and being Latino, and it's like it's not considered a normal thing for a Latino, especially a man, to if you have feelings or issues or something's wrong, to go to therapy or to deal with your mental health. If you had a mental health issue, you dealt with it on your own. You sucked it up, you swallowed it, you repress that, and you leave it where it's at, and then that's it. And then you deal with it. If you don't like it, that's too bad. No one's going to listen. There wasn't. I mean, it was already bad. It was bad for minorities back in the day to begin with. Doesn't matter, black, Spanish, Indian, whatever,
yeah.
Muslim, whatever you want to be. From whatever part of the world you were, if you were a white American, but in as a Latino, it was definitely a thing where we were more, and I would even say more than other cultures. I always say black and Latino was one of those things where you don't go to therapy. It was looked down upon. You consider like a punk if you did it, like, oh, you're a sissy, you're soft. If you have to talk about your feelings now, where people are more like, oh crap, like there's nothing wrong with doing that because it helps you. I would say like, it helps you think of what the issue is, what could be possibly stopping you from doing what you need to do, and getting better. Because I don't care who you're from, what country you're from, mental health is an important thing,
Yeah.
and it needs to be dealt with if you go through some type of trauma. And people do go through trauma that is going to take years, but just pushing it down is never a good thing. But it's one of those where I know back in the day, like I know family and stuff and friends and stuff like, oh, therapy's weak. And, now it's like people are realizing therapy might be a good thing to go to because it can help you kind of release to someone, who's not going to judge you, at least per se, compared to family or friends about whatever it is that's bothering you. So I personally think therapy is a good thing. Helps you understand what your issue may be and figure out a way to resolve it.
Yeah,
You
man,
know what I'm saying?
it's something that has to be definitely addressed, and
Yeah.
there should be more focus into, especially when it comes down to the Hispanic culture, for because we have like turned a cold shoulder onto mental issue for so long, and it just being
That's
normalized to, it's just being normalized that like, you just gotta be mentally strong, you just gotta push through kind of thing. But yeah, bro, like at the same
I
time, it's
feel
just
you.
like, you know, yeah, there's things that you can do to actually better your outlook in life and help you navigate through, the ups and downs of life a little bit better,
Yeah.
especially from people that they, Hispanic to Hispanic kind of thing. To
Yeah.
because it's not the same as just being pure American, from white descent and this and the other and the third, and having coming from a whole different background. For especially for those that come and into the U.S. and they already have roots into
Yeah.
Nicaragua or Honduras or Panama or Puerto Rico. Well, Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., but you know what I'm saying, like the Hispanic culture type of thing.
Oh no, no, no. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's
I
be
know, I
stupid
know, I
here,
know,
y'all.
I know. It was
Let's
a
not be
jab. It
stupid.
was a jab. It
Let's
was
not
a
be
jab.
stupid.
Just
We're
messing
not
with
part of
you.
the U.S. We're a Commonwealth. We are a Commonwealth. We got invaded. We got told what to do. We continue to get screwed. We're not part of the U.S. We are a common. Let's get that right, y'all. Let's
You
get that right.
you
Get it right.
Puerto Ricans are a modern day colony, bro. The probably one of the
Exactly. Where we don't
one of
have
the
the right.
very probably if what you part of the few, if not the only colony
We're
still in
modern day
existence.
slaves. We're literally modern day slaves, bro. We cannot make a law if we don't ask Uncle Sam or Daddy for it. If they say no, we have no right. We have no right. Facts, and that's facts. I can prove that'll be another episode. Just trying to get me started, bro. What is that? Trying to get me started. No, my feelings on this. Y'all, we're gonna have a heated debate later on. We're gonna talk
I
about
had to
this.
get it. I had to get him a little riled up. I had to get him a little riled up. Ah!
No, but it's true though. It's true what you're saying. Like it's growing up here, even back in the day, therapy was a normal thing amongst we're gonna use big words today, big boy
Big
words,
race.
amongst white Americans, where other cultures it wasn't considered. First of all, we weren't allowed to, and even when we were allowed to, it was like no, it's kind of like it's a shameful thing if you have to speak about your feelings, especially considering that I feel like Latino men were very big on like machismo, where
Keep
you got
it
to
to
be really
yourself.
like
Yeah, something like keep it to yourself type
yeah,
of thing.
yeah, like be a man.
Because
Real
yeah,
men don't
you
cry.
couldn't
Real men don't do
yeah.
this.
You couldn't show your emotions, and I mean
Yeah,
I have fallen into that too as well, especially with my son, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because like I want him to grow to be strong because this world will chew you up and spit you out.
facts, bro.
And I mean, and
I
that's
feel you.
and in a way, I think that's kind of like trying to build you up to have a strong mental stature when it comes down to
Yeah,
like certain things. But at the same time, you have to address the intricacies of mental health, like take time for yourself,
yeah,
decompress, kind of thing. Like, don't take it overboard and try to be this crystal mind type of person that like everything breaks you and everything just like you have to have
yeah,
tough skin, but at the same time also addressing the core things to keep you functioning properly along your own path in life. Because I
yeah.
mean, outside of your own family and even within that too, there's people that really don't care about you. So you need to also take care of your mind to the point that you had to learn how to decompress. You need to learn how to address certain things, how to withdraw yourself from certain situations, so you can see it from the outside and then try to
Yeah,
like tackle it a different way, so it doesn't affect you to the point that you want to commit something like you want to take your own life and you want to unalive yourself, and you want to hurt others because the stress gets
yeah,
to you to the point. And always,
yeah. You want to have
always,
thicker skin. You want to have
yeah.
thicker skin.
And one of the
Yeah,
things that I would say that it helps with mental health, and that's part of like why I also created we created this podcast with your help, is the fact that you need to have a group of people that you call your friends, and you can even call them family,
yep,
where you can come and not be judged when you're trying to be vulnerable, and like you have
yeah,
things going on and they can actually listen to what you have to say, truly analyze it, and give you proper feedback, and not just like, oh man, shut up, you just being a pussy, or you're just being a crybaby, this, and actually
yeah,
properly address like, yo, say like, yeah, your situation is kind of tough. I mean, what I can tell you is this, that, and the third. You give you like constructive criticism, and try
yeah,
to build you up in a point that to a degree, like, yeah, you might not have been going, but I've gone through something that is similar. I tried this. You can try that as well and see how it works for you. If it doesn't work all the way,
yeah, yeah,
you can take the parts of my advice and the help that I'm trying to give you, take the parts that work for you and use them, put some of your own twists and spins on it, and then help yourself uh, uh
yep, yep.
with that
Agreed,
mental, so
agreed.
like you got your back, so you know that you have that group
Yeah,
that even when you're about to fall and break, then you like, hey guys, I need to have a conversation, and then you have a
yep,
wholesome conversation with a group of friends that I genuinely have like good interest for your mental health, so you can
yeah,
move and like go to the next level and keep moving forward, and keep focused and keep yourself positive and all this other stuff.
yeah. Well, the thing, like, and speaking on that, is like I remember seeing, and it was trending for a while, quite a few months ago, on TikTok. Was there was a guy, he went around with roses and he was giving them to men, And the guys were asking, why are you giving me this? And he's like, because, and apparently it's a true fact. But apparently the only time a guy receives flowers, roses, whatever, flowers in general, is at their funeral. So it's like it's kind of entitled with like the whole Valentine's Day thing. Valentine's Day is a day you show the loved one, oh, I love you. I'm gonna take you out. We're gonna do this and that. First of all, I disagree with Valentine's Day. Do I celebrate? Do I celebrate it? Yes, but I don't consider it like, oh, I'm only celebrating on Valentine's Day. If you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever your spouse that you have with you, someone you love, you shouldn't be waiting for a holiday to go out and do something. Why not do it every now and then? And
Facts,
second,
facts,
the
facts.
fact that a guy doesn't get flowers until he dies, it is a sad thing because like, and there was a few guys who when they got them they broke down crying because men are not considered, men are supposed to be tough and strong and like, oh, you're not getting this, like it's crazy that people think men don't have feelings, and that's from any culture, men in general. And the fact that you don't get flowers or basically that appreciation that, hey, I'm thinking of
Yeah,
you, here's a
yeah.
flower
I was gonna
until
say
he
that
dies.
it's not just the flowers. It's just the genuine
The
appreciation
appreciation, yeah.
for the things that you do. And let me interject into that and then just be like, I'm talking about the men that actually fight for the family, the men that really sit
Yeah.
down there and provide for the family, and it's just it goes outside the even the Hispanic culture. It goes to any man of any culture. For the most
Yep.
part, we are unappreciated by those who we trying to provide and protect for. And sometimes
Yep.
we take it, they take it for granted until he's gone, and then they actually realize and they get hit with that load that he's been carrying for years to try to provide for the
Facts.
family. And they're like, damn, he did this and we never. And then sometimes they just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like by that, and you passing, you passing and dying or whatever not, and they feel this like grief that don't go away as as easy. Or and then you have kids that after the dad died, or that male figure that was like lifting that load of
Yeah.
your heads. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, and then you like every time that you see something, it just kind of like breaks you down inside. And then like, I wish it was here. And then those are like people that like have those moments in life that once you realize that that person is gone, you just kind of like break down, and then you want to be by yourself, and you
Yeah.
get depressed and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, for those family members, or those friends that have that type of people, please take the time, check on them,
Yeah.
appreciate them. Just it's just as simple as, yo, something, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate
Simple.
all the work that
So
you're
simple.
done, and we're here for you. And we don't need to have a special day for this, because you keep doing this 365,
Exactly.
all the way 24/7, 365.
Yep.
Just keep on, you keep on doing what you're doing. You work them long hours, and we want to tell you guys, we love you, we see you, we know you are here, and we appreciate the work that you put out,
Facts.
even if you're not
Yep.
appreciated by those who you work
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. If we there, hopefully, in the future we'll have a lot of people watching this. For all you men, like he said, we're men. We're two Latino men, but we're not saying this to just Latinos. We're saying this to men in general. It's something where we understand how it is not to feel appreciated, even though we know our wives or girlfriends love us, or whatever, your spouse. We know how it is to not be appreciated and be underlooked or overlooked, and not seen. It's so easy for women to forget that we might be men, but we bleed the same thing. We're a big sack of flesh and bones, that we still have feelings. Just because we're tough and we'll do what we need to for our family doesn't mean we don't have feelings. If you go to war, you take care of men who go overseas and they come back, and rightfully so. You all of a sudden are starting to think of their mental health, and even then they're not even taken care of properly. But men have mental health. We have thoughts. We have a heart. We have a brain. We love our family. That's why we work our ass off to get to where we're getting to try to provide for our kids, for our wives, for our spouses. And the fact that we don't get seen and it gets taken for granted, it's disheartening. It sucks, it blows. And it's just every now and then, if you have a female who a wife, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, that shows you that, then that's what's up. You got that rare blessing. And even then, that's a rarity, because if it happens once in a blue moon. And if you have to remind them, it's not something that's good. But, we're here. If feel free, and, excuse me, y'all, let us know what you think about that, because it is something that's important. It's crazy that that happens. Men's mental health in general, and that's going to be a long episode, maybe a few episodes that we definitely talk about in general. We're going to have a few guests on here and different things like that, but it's something that we definitely have to think about, because it's not an easy topic to face. And I know we started off with the stigma of mental health with and therapy with Latinos, but mental health in general for men is never an easy topic to come about. For these guys, you're just, you're not a real man if you're in your feelings. Then guess what? You have feelings too. I guarantee you, someone who gets close to you die. If you get angry, guess what? What's that called? That's called feelings. So no matter what, all men have feelings. We just show them in different ways, but it's the misappreciation of doing so much and not asking for anything except for simple love, care, and help if needed. The
Yeah.
few men who are blessed to have a female who's willing to stick by the side no matter all the crap they go through and all the stuff. It's a rare thing. Couples back in the day, they lasted longer with marriages and stuff, because it was more of care to a point.
Yeah,
So
they were more open to understanding that, the
yeah,
role of a man now is just like, yo, we get just
yeah.
underappreciated and overlooked.
And especially because women want to be this bad bitch thing. It's like, I'm independent. You can be independent all you want, but if you're with a man,
Yeah,
you
but
have to
I
realize
mean,
your
even
independence is no longer yours. It's
yeah,
both of you.
but
You're
even goes a
independent
little
girl, but
bit
you're with me.
further. Yeah, it
Yeah.
goes even a little bit further. Because even if for those men that have children, if you pay attention, for most of this, like athletes and stuff like that, when you succeed in something, the first person that you look for to, I want to thank my mom. You know what I'm saying? Because she was a nurturer or whatever now, but the husband, the father gets overlooked because um,
Yep.
they say he was never there or whatever not. But that was the man that was putting that shirt on your back. That was the man that putting them shoes
Yep.
on your feet. That was the man that was keeping that roof over your head. That was paying the bills. That was keeping that electricity on. That was giving you all the stuff.
And even
And
if your dad
and
was there, the mom is still praised first.
No, but the only reason why I say that in that exact same scenario is because the mom stayed home and she nurtured the kids. She did her job as a
Yeah.
nurturer.
Yeah.
But then the guy has been the provider, because you cannot provide for your family and be there at the same time.
Exactly.
Is really hard. And for those men that can actually accomplish that, more props. I take my hat off, take my hat off to you guys. But it's really extremely hard for somebody to work 8, 10, 12, 16 hours and then come
Hold on,
home
real quick.
and
Real quick.
yeah.
Real quick. I didn't see you take your hat off. No,
Oh
I'm playing.
man.
No, I agree. Though. Yeah, no, it is.
Man,
Like, no, continue. Like you said, it's 10 to what, bro? It's not easy, and you have kids.
it's not
You have
exactly,
kids.
it's not easy, and sometimes I have the tendency of voicing sometimes when it comes out to that, I mean, my disapproval from some of the choices that they take at home, because I'm
Yeah,
not part of that decision process. And like,
yeah,
guys, I need to know what's going on. Because at the end of the day, the one that you guys are going to ask for support is going to be my support, and then those instances where I have to say no because when you guys throw the questions at me and I start seeing it with a wider lens, because my job is to protect and provide. I want to make sure that what you're about to embark is really good for everybody, not just for y'all,
yeah.
but for the whole family. So sometimes it's not a good idea. So then I'll be like, no, that's not a good idea. And then I'm like, oh my God, you're doing too much, and you're doing this, and you being extra, and you're taking it way too far, and and those things are like, but guys, I'm doing it for y'all. It's not for me. It's for y'all. I've gone through
Especially being Latino, we're more, not that other cultures are more loving, but being Latino, we're very familial. So, and we're taught to work hard as a man. So, like,
Yeah, it's
when you
like,
have
bro,
your
I take the shirt off my
they
back
want
and
you
give
the
it to
best.
my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take a bullet for them and all this other stuff. And it's like my whole purpose. Oh, excuse me. My whole purpose in life is to provide for you, to make sure that y'all go and do better than me. My job is to make sure that y'all are taking care of us to the point that you are do better than what I did, and you take it to the next level, and then the next level, and so
Yep.
far and so on. And makes me feel sometimes unappreciated because every time that I try to like voice something and it's just for their own benefit. It's like, oh, you're doing too much, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you always say no, and you always do this, and you don't want to do this, and you
Yeah.
don't want to do that. But I'm like, guys,
Yep.
it's not a good idea. And then the funny part about it, on the flip side, is that when it doesn't work, who they run to? They run back to me. Oh, now I have to
Hmm.
fix the problem that I try to make sure that you guys avoid it. So then when shit breaks loose and shit hits the fan and everything's all over the place, then I have to come over here and start picking up the pieces and putting the stuff
Yeah.
together and all this other stuff. And even then I don't get
Hmm.
appreciated because you know what I'm saying. And it's not just me, there's a lot of men out there that have to go through that kind of stuff where they do wholeheartedly like take their
Yep.
family and put them first before anything else, and they still get overlooked
Hmm.
and underappreciated until the day they die, and then they realize that was a great man that we just lost. So now what we gonna do? Because just like
Yep.
that, there's not a lot of men out there that is out there for any women and their kids, especially for family. Like let's say you have kids and you pass, there's not other men out there that's gonna be taking care of your kids.
Yep.
There's very few
Facts.
and far in between guys that is like, oh, I'm gonna take care of this girl and she got those kids. Those are not my kids, so I'm not taking care of your kids. You handle that stuff. Just saying, like he's not gonna be fully immersed into the whole dynamic of that stuff. And
Yeah.
then like, oh my god, all guys are this because now you're gonna start having bitter experiences because
Yep.
had to
Oh my gosh,
appreciate
that's true.
when you guys had to appreciate that man, y'all didn't do it. So people, please appreciate the man y'all have at home. If you guys got a great man, if you guys got a good man, please appreciate that man out there because he's doing all he's doing for y'all.
Sometimes all it takes is just listening a little bit and understanding what he's going through. It might be difficult, but if you
Sometimes it's just a
literally,
hug. Sometimes it's just a hug. And just
bro,
telling you,
sometimes
I love
somebody
you for
needs some.
everything you do. It's just
Yes.
something as
Yes.
simple as that.
I guarantee you, women, if you do that to your man,
Sometimes
I
you get more
guarantee
love from a dog walking into the
yeah,
house than you get from
bro.
your whole family. That's crazy.
Fact, bro. I guarantee you, if you women, you girls, you girlfriends, you do that to your man, and you do that, especially if you've been with each other for a while, you do that. I guarantee you,
You'll
if
have a
he
whole
doesn't
different
break
look.
down, yeah, if he doesn't break down, he's gonna give you the biggest hug, and I guarantee you, he's gonna give you the best D you've ever had because he's gonna feel appreciated. You know what I'm saying? It's fact. It's fact. So, show love to your spouse. Let your man know, you know what, I appreciate what you do for me and the kids, or if it's just you and him, what you do for me and all the stuff that you go through. And with that, we're going to wrap this episode up. So thank you guys for tuning into another awesome, crazy, deep, and hopefully fun Deals Unfiltered podcast. We definitely hope you laughed and learned. And for all you men, once again, like we said, we may not know you, but if you ever want to make true, loyal, and real friends, we are here. Write in the comments, and we can definitely get this started, talk, and really, write what you guys think you guys would like us to further talk about and whatnot, and we can learn something new.
Yeah, facts, facts. Remember, guys, life is too short. We need to enjoy every second of it. We cannot just stay frustrated. We cannot stay depressed. We got to look for better outlooks in life. Life is too short,
Facts.
and we need to learn how to have a good time. So, guys, until the next time, keep on vibing. Stay curious. Keep on learning. If you haven't learned nothing today, hopefully these teach you something today. Uh, keep those cafecitos ready. Make sure that you keep watching us. Stay awake when you watch us. Please don't fall asleep. I think we're interesting enough for you guys to
I
stay
think so
up.
too.
I think we can catch your interest. So keep them cafecitos. You falling
Yeah,
asleep because you had a long day at work. Just keep them there so you can stay up with us.
leave them there. Don't get that decaf. Get that good stuff. Get that caffeinated one.
Da café Bustelo.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes, so you can continue talking, grow with us, become part of the Latinos Unfiltered family. Be part of us. If you don't have a family, then guess what? You have one now. So make sure you guys go ahead, hit those notifications. We're here to keep it real, keep it unfiltered, keep it legit, and we want you here with us to grow as not just podcasters, but as a family.
So now guys. This is the Latinos on Filter. So hasta luego, familia.
No, I'm